Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's session with an overview of Microsoft Excel. This is the Microsoft Excel Overview presentation, and I hope you'll find it both informative and engaging. We'll be covering the key features, functions, and tips to help you get the most out of Excel. So, let's get started and explore what makes Excel such a powerful tool. Let's take a closer look at the contents of Microsoft Excel, which forms the foundation of our discussion today. On this slide, you'll see an outline of the key areas we'll cover, starting with an introduction to the software itself. We'll explore the title bar, which displays the name of your workbook and other important information. Next, the worksheet area is where you'll do most of your data entry and analysis. Moving on, we have the menu bar, which contains the various menus like File, Home, Insert, and more, each offering specific tools and commands. The toolbar provides quick access to commonly used functions, making your workflow more efficient. The status bar at the bottom gives you real-time updates on your work, such as cell mode or calculation status. You'll also notice references to the scroll bars, which help you navigate larger spreadsheets easily. As we proceed, we'll delve into how the home menu and its toolbars organize essential features like formatting, editing, and clipboard functions. Understanding these components is crucial because they serve as the control panels for how you interact with Excel. They work together seamlessly, allowing you to access commands quickly and manage your data efficiently. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how each part contributes to making Excel a powerful tool for data management and analysis. Let's talk about Microsoft Excel and why it's such a powerful tool for our productivity. Essentially, Excel helps us organize data in a way that makes calculations and presentations much simpler. Think of the worksheet area like a blank canvas, similar to a document in a word processor, where you can input and arrange information easily. One of the great advantages of using Excel for creating tables is that the grid lines are already in place, which means setting up a table is much faster and more straightforward than doing it in Word. It saves us time and effort, especially when working with large datasets. To make the most of Excel, we need to familiarize ourselves with the command tools. These tools allow us to unlock the full potential of the program. By exploring the different commands under each menu category, we can perform a variety of tasks efficiently. Overall, understanding how to leverage Excel's features will help us work smarter, not harder, and enhance our overall productivity in managing data. Let's take a closer look at the Microsoft Excel tools. When you open a spreadsheet, you'll notice that it contains the basic parts you might be familiar with from a word processing environment. This means there are familiar elements like menus, toolbars, and a workspace where you can enter and manipulate data. Understanding these parts is crucial because they help you navigate and use Excel efficiently. Just like in word processing, the layout is designed to make your work more streamlined and accessible. Recognizing these components early on sets a strong foundation for mastering Excel's powerful features. So, as we move forward, remember how these basic parts connect to the overall theme of making data management easier and more intuitive. Today, we're going to talk about what a workbook is. A workbook is simply a document created using a spreadsheet program. Think of it as a digital notebook where you can organize data, perform calculations, and analyze information all in one place. The key point here is that a workbook isn't just a single sheet. It's a collection of multiple sheets within one file. This makes it very flexible and powerful for managing different sets of data related to your project or task. Understanding this concept is essential because it forms the foundation for working efficiently with spreadsheets, which are central to many data management and analysis tasks we'll explore in this course. So, whenever you hear the term workbook, remember it's essentially your digital container for all your spreadsheets and data. Now, moving on to slide 6, let's talk about worksheets. A worksheet is essentially a collection of data organized into a workbook. You can think of a workbook as a file that contains one or more worksheets, each of which holds its own set of data. This structure allows you to manage and analyze different sets of information within a single file. The key point here is that a worksheet is the individual sheet where you input, view, and manipulate your data. Understanding how worksheets work is fundamental because they are the building blocks of any data project. Connecting this to our overall theme, mastering worksheets helps you organize your data effectively, making analysis much more straightforward and efficient. Let's take a look at the title bar, which is a fundamental part of the Excel interface. It contains the quick access toolbar, the title of the workbook, and the minimize, maximize, or restore and close buttons. These elements are essential for managing your workspace efficiently. The quick access toolbar is customizable, so you can add commands you use frequently, making your workflow smoother. You can do this by clicking the drop-down arrow next to it and selecting the commands you want to add. The title of the workbook shows you which file you're working on, especially helpful when you have multiple documents open. And of course, the minimize, maximize, or restore and close buttons allow you to control the window size and close your workbook when you're finished. Understanding this area helps you navigate and customize your workspace, making your experience more streamlined and productive as we continue exploring Excel's features. Let's take a look at the menu bar. This is a key part of the interface because it displays the titles of the different sets of commands organized into categories. Each of these categories helps us quickly find the tools we need for various tasks. When you click on a menu button, you'll see a list of commands or options related to that category. This setup makes navigation more efficient and keeps the workspace uncluttered. Remember, understanding how to use the menu bar effectively is essential for maximizing your productivity and making the most of the software's features. It's all about organizing functions in a way that's accessible and intuitive, which ties into the overall goal of streamlining your workflow. Let's take a closer look at the toolbar. This is where you'll find the sets of commands that you can access through menu buttons. These sets of commands are organized into what we call ribbons. Think of a ribbon as a collection of related tools and options all grouped together for easy access. It's also important to note that some submenu options you see in a spreadsheet window might not be available in a word processor window. This is because different types of programs have different features tailored to their specific functions. Understanding how the toolbar and ribbons work helps us navigate these programs more efficiently, making our workflow smoother and more organized. Now let's take a closer look at the formula bar. This is a really useful feature because it shows us the contents of the currently active cell. Essentially, it's where we can see and edit the data or formulas in that cell. The formula bar contains several important components. First, there's the name box, which displays the cell's address or its name if you've assigned one. Next, there's the formula text box, where you can view or type in formulas and data directly. Additionally, you'll notice there are buttons for cancel, accept or enter, and functions. The cancel button allows you to discard any changes you've made before confirming. The accept or enter button is used to confirm your input or formula once you're done editing. And the function button helps you insert functions more easily into your formulas. Understanding how to use the formula bar effectively helps you manage and edit your data more efficiently. It's a key part of navigating and working with your spreadsheet, especially as your sheets become more complex. So, keep an eye on the formula bar. It becomes an essential tool in your Excel toolkit. Now let's take a closer look at the worksheet area. This is where you'll actually hold your document. You'll notice it has rows, which are numbered, and columns, which are lettered. These two components help you organize your data clearly. The point where a row and a column intersect is called a cell. Each cell has a specific label, which combines its column letter and row number, like A1 or B2, so you can easily identify it. One thing to remember is that, unlike some tools, the worksheet contains grid lines instead of rulers. These grid lines help you see the boundaries of each cell clearly, making data entry more straightforward. Understanding this layout is fundamental because it forms the backbone of how you organize and manipulate your data efficiently. Now, let's talk about scroll bars. These are the horizontal and vertical bars you see on the edges of a document or window. Their main purpose is to help you navigate through the content. If you're working with a long document or a wide spreadsheet, for example, you can use these bars to move up and down or side to side. Essentially, They act as your control to explore different parts of your document without having to scroll manually with your mouse wheel or keyboard. The key point here is that scroll bars make it easier to access information that's outside the current view. They're especially useful when dealing with large amounts of data or lengthy text. They connect to the overall theme of efficient navigation within digital documents, ensuring you can work more comfortably and effectively. So, whether you're reviewing a report or browsing a web page, understanding how to use scroll bars enhances your overall user experience. Let's take a look at the status bar, which is located at the very bottom of your worksheet. This area might seem simple, but it actually holds some essential information. For example, it displays the current zoom level, so you can easily see how much you're zoomed in or out on your document. It also includes various view options, allowing you to switch between different ways of looking at your worksheet. Another key point is that the status bar shows when Excel is ready to take commands. So if you're waiting for a process to complete, you can keep an eye here to know when it's ready for your next move. Overall, the status bar is a small but powerful tool that helps you stay informed about your worksheet's view and readiness, supporting your overall efficiency as you work through your tasks. Now, let's take a closer look at the File menu, which is really the hub for managing your workbooks. This is the first menu you'll turn to when you want to start creating or working on a new file. It contains some essential commands that you'll use frequently. For example, the New command allows you to open a blank workbook or select a template if you want to start with a pre-designed layout. It's a quick way to get started from scratch or from a pattern. Next, there's Save As, which is really handy when you want to save your current work under a different name or in a different location. This helps you keep versions or organize your files better. Then we have Open, which, as you might expect, lets you access and open workbooks you've previously saved. This is your gateway to continue working on existing files. The Print command allows you to print your current workbook or specific pages within your worksheet. It's an important step when you need a physical copy or review hard copies of your data. Finally, there's Save, which quickly saves your current progress in the file's existing location. It's a simple but crucial command to prevent losing your work. All these commands work together to give you full control over your files, ensuring your data is well managed and accessible whenever you need it. Now, let's take a closer look at the home menu in MS Excel. This is where a lot of the magic happens when it comes to making your data look professional and easy to read. Essentially, the home menu allows you to format values in your worksheet. This includes applying styles directly to a cell, as well as customizing the data inside it. For example, you can start by changing the font style. Maybe you want a clean, modern look with a sans serif font, or adjusting the font size to make headings stand out. You can also change the font color to highlight key data points or to match a theme. Background color is another handy feature, helping you differentiate sections or emphasize important cells. Additionally, formatting isn't just about appearance. You can set the title or labels in bold to draw attention or adjust the text's position within the cell to improve alignment and readability. All of these options give you the power to make your data not only accurate, but also visually appealing. Remember, consistent formatting helps your audience understand and interpret the data more easily, which ties back to our overall goal of effective data presentation. Now, let's take a closer look at the home menu and its toolbars, starting with the clipboard. The clipboard is a collection of essential commands like cut, copy, paste, and the format painter. These tools are fundamental for editing and managing your content efficiently. When you use the cut command, it removes the selected item from your document and places it on the clipboard, so you can easily paste it elsewhere. This is especially useful when reorganizing your content or moving things around. The copy command, on the other hand, duplicates the selected item and stores it on the clipboard without removing it from its original location. This way, you can copy items multiple times without losing the original. Paste is the command that brings whatever is stored on the clipboard into your document at the desired location. And finally, The Format Painter is a handy tool that allows you to copy formatting from one part of your document and apply it to another, ensuring consistency across your work. Overall, these tools are key to making your editing process smooth and professional, helping you create polished documents with ease. Now, let's take a closer look at the home menu and the toolbars it offers. One of the key tools here is the font toolbar. This is a really useful feature because it allows you to customize the appearance of your text, as well as the cell borders and background colors. By using this toolbar, you can make your data stand out, highlight important headings, or labels that are crucial for sorting and organizing your data entries. Essentially, it helps you draw attention to the most relevant parts of your spreadsheet, making it easier to interpret and analyze. Connecting this to our overall theme, effective use of formatting tools like this can greatly improve the clarity and professionalism of your reports. So, mastering the font toolbar is a step toward creating more visually engaging and easy-to-understand data presentations. All right, on this slide, we're focusing on the home menu and specifically the alignment toolbar. The alignment tool is really useful because it allows you to control how your text appears inside a cell. You can adjust whether the text is aligned to the left, center, or right, depending on your preference or the style you're aiming for. Additionally, this tool isn't just about alignment. It also gives you the power to combine selected cells into one larger cell. This can be incredibly handy when you're creating headers or organizing data in a way that makes your spreadsheet more readable and professional looking. Understanding how to use the alignment options effectively is key, because it helps you present your information clearly and neatly. Remember, proper alignment and cell merging contribute significantly to the overall clarity and aesthetic of your spreadsheet, which ties back to our goal of creating well-organized and visually appealing data presentations. Now let's take a look at the home menu, which contains some very useful toolbars. One of these is the number toolbar, and it's all about how numbers appear inside a cell. This might seem simple, but it's actually quite powerful for making your data clearer and more organized. With the number toolbar, you can format numbers in various ways, adding commas to separate thousands, or including decimals for precision. These formatting options help make your data easier to read and understand at a glance, especially when you're working with large amounts of information or doing calculations. So, by customizing how numbers appear, you're not just making your spreadsheet look neat, you're also improving its functionality and your ability to interpret the data quickly. Remember, small formatting choices can have a big impact on how effectively you communicate your information. Now, let's take a closer look at the home menu and the toolbars it offers. One of the key toolbars here is the Styles toolbar. This feature allows us to change cell styles easily, which is especially helpful when we want to highlight important data. For example, if there's a critical figure or a key point, we can quickly apply a distinctive style to make it stand out. You can also format a whole range of cells with their own unique styles using this toolbar. This not only makes your data more visually organized, but also helps in quickly identifying and interpreting the most relevant information. Remember, using styles consistently can really enhance the clarity of your spreadsheets and support your overall data presentation goals. Now let's take a closer look at the home menu, specifically the Cells toolbar. This is a really useful tool when you're working with your spreadsheets because it allows you to insert or delete cells, rows, or columns as needed. For example, if you find that you need more space for data, you can easily add a new row or column. Conversely, if there's an unnecessary one, you can delete it. Another key point is that you can also format the row height and column width. This is especially helpful when you want your data to fit neatly within the cells, making your worksheet look clean and organized. Overall, this toolbar gives you quick control over the structure and appearance of your data, helping you customize your spreadsheet to best suit your needs. Remember, managing your cells efficiently is fundamental to creating clear, professional-looking reports. Now let's take a look at slide 22. Here, we're focusing on the home menu and the various toolbars it contains. Specifically, we'll start with the editing toolbar. This toolbar includes some really useful commands like AutoSum, Sort, Filter, Fill, find, and clear. These commands are especially helpful when you're working on a table that you've just finished creating. They allow you to quickly perform common editing tasks, saving you time and effort. For example, AutoSum makes it easy to add up a column of numbers with just a click. Sorting and filtering help organize your data, making it easier to analyze. Fill helps you quickly copy data or formulas, and Find is great for locating specific information within your table. Clear is useful when you want to remove content or formatting. Overall, these editing tools are essential for efficiently managing and refining your data as you build your spreadsheets. Now, let's take a closer look at the Insert menu. This is a really useful feature because it allows us to add a variety of objects directly into our worksheet. For example, you can easily insert tables, which are great for organizing data, or text boxes if you want to add some explanations or labels. You can also insert illustrations like pictures or shapes, charts to visualize your data, symbols for special characters, and even links to other resources. When you're conducting surveys or interviews using traditional methods, like handing out questionnaires or doing face-to-face interviews, you'll gather a lot of data manually. The Insert menu helps you take that raw data and turn it into something more meaningful. For instance, you can create tables to organize your results or use charts to present the data visually. This makes analysis much easier and more intuitive, helping you see trends and patterns at a glance. So, in the context of our overall presentation, the Insert menu is a powerful tool for transforming raw data into clear, professional visuals that support your conclusions. It's all about making your data accessible and understandable for your audience. Now, let's take a look at the Page Layout menu. This is where you can really customize how your worksheet looks and feels. It allows you to adjust the layout to better suit your needs, whether you're preparing a report or a presentation. You can add effects to make your worksheet more visually appealing, such as changing margins, orientation, or size. These options help you control the overall appearance and ensure your worksheet is professional and well-organized. Remember, the Page Layout menu is a key tool for making your work look polished and tailored to your specific goals. Now, let's take a look at the Themes tool within the Page Layout menu. This is a really powerful feature because it allows you to assign a consistent look and feel across your entire document. Essentially, it provides a set of coordinated colors, fonts, and effects that work well together. When you choose a theme, you're applying a unified style that makes your document look professional and polished. One of the key benefits here is the ability to change the entire color scheme of your document with just a click. If you decide you want a different mood or color palette, simply select a new theme, and all the colors will update automatically. This makes it much easier to maintain visual consistency and to experiment with different styles without having to manually change each element. So, when you're working on a presentation or report, think of themes as your secret weapon for creating cohesive, attractive designs effortlessly. They help you stay aligned with your overall theme and make your document more engaging for your audience. Now, let's look at the Page Layout menu, which is essential for customizing how your worksheet looks and prints. One of the key tools here is Page Setup. This feature allows you to choose from several common margin formats, making it easy to set your page to look just right. You can also configure printing options, such as page size, print area, and page orientation, to control exactly what gets printed and how it appears on paper. Additionally, you have the option to add a background to your worksheet, which is a great way to personalize your workbook or make it more visually appealing. Overall, these tools help ensure your document is polished and professional, aligning with the overall goal of creating effective and well-presented workbooks. Now, let's take a closer look at the Page Layout menu. One of the key tools here is the Scale to Fit option. This feature is really useful because it allows you to adjust row height, column width, and overall scaling of your worksheet. Essentially, it helps you make your data fit nicely on a page, which is especially important when you're preparing your document for printing or sharing. By using Scale to Fit, you can ensure that your information is clear, well-organized, and visually appealing. This aligns perfectly with our overall goal of creating professional and easy-to-understand spreadsheets. Remember, mastering these layout tools can make a big difference in how your data is presented and perceived. Now let's take a closer look at the page layout menu, specifically the toolbars and their functions. One key toolbar here is the sheet options. This is where you'll find checkboxes that give you control over how your worksheet appears when you view or print it. For example, you can choose whether to display grid lines and headings. Deselecting the grid lines can be particularly useful if you want your worksheet to look more like a clean document, similar to what you might see in a word processor. This helps to give your worksheet a more polished, professional appearance, especially if you're preparing a report or a presentation that you want to look neat and uncluttered. So the main takeaway is that these options allow you to customize the visual layout of your worksheet easily, making it adaptable to different presentation styles and printing needs. This flexibility is key as we continue exploring how to make our spreadsheets both functional and visually appealing. Now let's look at the page layout menu, which includes several useful toolbars. One of these is the Arrange toolbar. The main function of Arrange is to help us control the position of objects within our worksheet. It's especially handy when you're working with multiple elements and want to organize them neatly. With this toolbar, you can easily change whether an object is visible or hidden, and you can also adjust its placement on the page. This makes it much easier to create a clean, professional-looking worksheet. Remember, organizing your objects properly not only improves the visual appeal, but also helps in presenting your data more clearly. So, mastering the Arrange toolbar is a key step in managing your worksheet layout effectively. Let's take a closer look at the Formulas menu. This is one of the main menus you'll find in MS Excel, and it's essential for performing calculations. Essentially, it allows you to create formulas that work with the data in your cells. For example, you can add, subtract, multiply, or divide numbers automatically. The key idea here is that formulas help you analyze and manipulate your data efficiently. By using formulas, you can save time and reduce errors, especially when working with large datasets. This menu is a vital part of Excel's overall power, enabling you to perform complex calculations with just a few clicks. So, understanding how to access and use the Formulas menu is fundamental to becoming proficient in Excel. Now, let's take a closer look at the Function Library toolbar and what it offers. This toolbar is really the backbone for creating complex calculations and functions within your spreadsheets. It allows you to access a wide variety of formulas categorized by their use, such as statistics, trigonometry, logical operations, and financial functions. What's great about it is that it simplifies the process of applying these functions. Instead of typing out complex formulas from scratch, you can select from these categories and find the function you need quickly. For example, you can easily switch from formatting time in a simple way, like changing ordinary time to military time, to performing more advanced calculations, like finding the hyperbolic cosine of a number. This tool is crucial because it streamlines your workflow, making it easier to perform a broad range of calculations efficiently. It ties into our overall theme of enhancing productivity and precision in data management. So, mastering this library really empowers you to work smarter, not harder, with your data. Now let's take a closer look at the Define Names toolbar and what it allows us to do. Essentially, this tool helps us create, edit, delete, and find names within our workbook. Think of these names as labels or shortcuts for specific cell references. Using named ranges makes our formulas easier to understand and manage, especially in large spreadsheets. For example, instead of writing a complex cell reference, we can simply use a meaningful name like sales total or interest rate. This not only improves clarity, but also simplifies updates. If the cell reference changes, we just update the name, and all formulas using it automatically update too. So, in the bigger picture, these tools enhance our efficiency and accuracy when working with complex data. Now, let's take a closer look at the Formula Auditing toolbar. This is a really useful set of tools designed to help us ensure our formulas are correct and functioning as intended. One of the key features here is that it shows us which cells are affecting the selected cell. So, if you're troubleshooting a complex formula, this can be a game changer. It helps you understand the dependencies and see exactly where the data is coming from. This way, you can verify that your calculations are accurate and make adjustments if needed. Overall, these tools are essential for maintaining accuracy and building reliable spreadsheets, which ties back to our goal of creating precise and trustworthy data models. Now, let's take a look at the calculation toolbar. This is a key feature because it controls how your formulas are processed. You have the option to set calculations to happen automatically, which means as soon as you make a change, the program updates the results instantly. Or, you can choose manual calculation, giving you more control to update only when you're ready. This can be especially useful in large spreadsheets where automatic updates might slow things down. Understanding when and how to use these options helps improve both your efficiency and your workflow. So remember, the calculation toolbar is all about managing how and when your formulas are recalculated, which is a fundamental part of working effectively in spreadsheets. Let's talk about the data menu. Now, you'll notice this menu isn't available in MS Word, but it's actually a very important feature in MS Excel. The data menu provides you with powerful tools to manage, analyze, and organize your data efficiently. Whether it's sorting your data, filtering specific information, or performing complex data analysis, this menu is essential. Understanding how to use it effectively can really enhance your productivity and the accuracy of your work. So, even though you won't find it in Word, mastering the data menu in Excel is key to leveraging the full potential of your spreadsheets. Now, let's take a look at the tools available in the data menu, starting with Get External Data. This feature is really useful because it allows you to bring in data from various outside sources. For example, you might get data directly from a Microsoft database, which is great for integrating large, structured datasets. You can also pull information from a web page, making it easy to update your data dynamically. Additionally, you can import data from a text file or other common sources. This capability is essential because it helps streamline your workflow, ensuring that you can incorporate relevant external data quickly and efficiently. Overall, understanding this tool is key for anyone looking to enhance their data analysis by connecting to external sources seamlessly. Now, let's take a closer look at the data menu, specifically the toolbars and their functions. One key feature here is the Connections toolbar. This tool displays all the data connections associated with the workbook, giving you a clear overview of where your data is coming from. It's especially useful for managing multiple data sources efficiently. Another important aspect is the ability to refresh all sources at once. This feature ensures that your workbook always reflects the most up-to-date data, which is crucial for accurate analysis and decision-making. By refreshing all sources, you can quickly update your entire dataset without having to do it manually for each connection. Overall, understanding how these connection tools work helps streamline your data management process and keeps your analysis current. It ties directly into the larger theme of maintaining data integrity and ensuring your insights are based on the latest information. Now, let's take a look at some of the key toolbars you'll find in the data menu, starting with Sort and Filter. These tools are incredibly useful for organizing your data efficiently. Sorting allows you to arrange your data in the desired order, whether it's ascending, descending, or customized. This makes it easier to analyze or locate specific information quickly. The Filter command, on the other hand, helps you find specific values within a column or row. By applying filters, you can focus on just the data that meets certain criteria, which is especially helpful when working with large datasets. Remember, these tools are fundamental for managing and making sense of your data, aligning perfectly with our overall goal of working smarter and more effectively with data in Excel. Now, let's take a look at the tools found in the data menu, specifically under Data Tools. These commands are incredibly useful for managing and cleaning up your data. For example, you can split a single column of text into multiple columns, which is handy when you have combined data that needs to be separated. You can also use the automatic fill feature to quickly populate cells based on patterns, saving you time. Additionally, there's a command to delete duplicate rows, helping you ensure your data is unique and accurate. Lastly, you can summarize your data, which is great for getting quick insights. Overall, These tools are essential for organizing and preparing your data for analysis, tying back to our goal of making data work for us efficiently. Now, moving on to slide 40, let's look at the tools available in the data menu, starting with the outline feature. This tool is really useful for managing groups of cells. Essentially, it allows you to group or ungroup a range of cells easily. When you group cells, you can collapse or expand sections of your data, which helps keep your worksheet organized and makes it easier to focus on specific parts. Ungrouping, of course, reverses that process if you need to work with the data in its full form again. Think of it as a way to create a more dynamic and manageable view of your data, especially when working with large datasets. This aligns with our overall goal of making data analysis more efficient and streamlined. So, mastering the outline tool helps you control the complexity of your spreadsheets and enhances your ability to present information clearly. Now, let's take a closer look at the review menu. This menu is packed with many useful tools that can really help us fine-tune and proofread our documents. Interestingly, you'll find most of these features also in the Tools menu of MS Word, which shows how integrated and versatile this menu is. These options are designed to make reviewing your work easier, whether it's checking for spelling and grammar, adding comments, or tracking changes. Understanding how to navigate and utilize the review menu is key to producing polished, professional documents. It's all about giving you smarter, more efficient ways to review and improve your work. Let's take a closer look at the menu toolbars and their functions. First up is the proofing toolbar. Here, you can quickly check your spelling, which is essential for maintaining professionalism. You also have access to a thesaurus, so you can find alternative words to improve your writing. Plus, there are tools to define selected words, helping you understand and clarify your content. Next is the comments feature. This is especially useful when collaborating on a workbook. You can attach comments to specific cells, ask questions about formulas, or leave notes for others. It's a great way to communicate directly within your document without altering the actual data. Then we have the language option. If you're working with multilingual audiences or documents, this tool allows you to translate selected text into different languages easily, streamlining communication across language barriers. Finally, the Changes option is all about protecting your work. You can safeguard your worksheet and workbook from unwanted edits. It also lets you track any changes made, which is vital for maintaining control and ensuring accuracy during collaboration. All these tools play a crucial role in streamlining your workflow and maintaining the integrity of your work, which ties directly into our overall theme of efficient and effective spreadsheet management. Now, let's take a look at the View menu in MS Excel. Unlike MS Word, the View menu in Excel offers commands that are specifically tailored to how we work with spreadsheets. One of the key functions here is the ability to scroll through the rest of the sheet easily. This is especially useful when you're dealing with large datasets and need quick navigation. It helps you focus on the data without getting lost in the details. Remember, understanding how to efficiently view and navigate your data is crucial for effective spreadsheet management and analysis. So, the View menu is a handy tool to enhance your workflow and keep your data accessible. Now, let's take a closer look at the toolbars in the View menu and what they do. First up, we have workbook views. This feature is really useful because it allows you to see how your document will look when it's printed. It helps you check the layout, understand where pages start and end, and see any headers or footers that might be on your page. This is especially important when you're preparing a report or a presentation that needs to look professional. By using workbook views, you can make sure everything is aligned perfectly and that your document appears just as you intend it to when printed. It's a simple yet powerful way to manage your document's presentation and ensure clarity for anyone who reads or views it. Now, let's take a closer look at the toolbars in the View menu and what each of their functions means. First up, we have the Show section. You'll notice that the checkboxes here are used to let you choose which elements are displayed on your screen. This is really useful because it allows you to customize your workspace based on what you need to see at any given moment. For example, you might want to hide some toolbars or panels to get a clearer view of your work area. Remember, these options help you manage your workspace efficiently, making it easier to focus on the task at hand. So, understanding how to toggle these elements on and off is a key part of navigating and optimizing your interface. Now, let's take a look at slide 46, which focuses on the View menu and the toolbars available there. One of the key tools we have is the Zoom feature. This tool allows us to magnify or reduce the zoom level of our sheet. Essentially, it helps us focus more closely on a specific cell or a range of cells. Whether we're working with detailed data or trying to get an overall view, adjusting the zoom can make a big difference in how easily we can analyze and interpret our information. Remember, the goal here is to make our workspace as clear and accessible as possible. So using the Zoom tool effectively is a fundamental part of managing your view in the spreadsheet. Now, let's take a closer look at the window option in the View menu. When you click on it, it opens a new window for your active workbook, which can be really useful if you're working with multiple sheets or need to compare data side by side. You can also arrange your open windows in different ways, making multitasking much easier. For example, you might want to divide a window into separate panes that scroll independently, so you can view different parts of your data at the same time without losing your place. Additionally, if you need to focus on a specific section, you can hide or unhide the current window. Another powerful feature here is the Freeze Panes command. This allows you to freeze the top row, the first column, or even a specific part of your sheet. It's especially helpful when working with large datasets, as it keeps header rows or key columns visible as you scroll through your data. Overall, these tools in the window menu help you manage your workspace more effectively, keeping you organized and focused, which ties into our overall theme of streamlining your workflow. Let's talk about the tooltip. A tooltip is a really useful user interface feature that shows you the functions of a specific command button. It's like having a quick reference guide right there on your screen. There are 3 main ways to activate or see a tooltip. The first is simply by pausing your mouse pointer over a command button. When you hover over it, the tooltip appears, giving you a quick explanation of what that button does. This way, you don't need to memorize every function. The information is right at your fingertips. The second way is by focusing on an element using the Tab key. This is especially helpful when you're navigating through your spreadsheet using the keyboard. As you move from one element to another, the tooltip will pop up, providing guidance without needing to click. And the third method is by holding down a button, which can be useful in certain contexts to see more detailed information. Overall, tooltips are a great way to make your workflow smoother and more efficient because they reduce the need to remember every button's function. They tie into the overall theme of making your interaction with spreadsheets more intuitive and user-friendly.